You need to know about this connection and this disconnection thing. How many of you have children? How many ever were children? There we go. We've about covered it twice now. When you have relationships with people that you love, you need to understand how important it is to create these connections. How important it is to create them and how important it is to keep them. Because life flows through the connections that we have with one another, and when we don't know how to do it or what or why we're doing it, or hoping it'll happen accidentally, what ends up happening is that our relationships end up in a connection, end up in a condition. Our relationships just end up in this condition. And when we have a plan and an intent and an understanding of what we're building, then what we can do is we can build something on purpose. We can build something we want to live in. We can build something that other people want to live in. But when we don't have a plan, when we don't have understanding, when we're not loving on purpose, then we end up just living in this thing. And everybody that was born into it has to live there too. I don't know how many of you were raised in Christian families, and I don't know how many of you are glad you were raised in Christian families, but not everybody is. And it would seem as though being raised in a Christian family is kind of an automatic good thing. No, it's really not. It's sometimes better to just think, oh, my parents had no idea. They weren't believers. Right. They just weren't believers. They had no idea. That's easy to just go, I forgive you. But when your parents knew better and they raised you in this fear factory and they taught you that God was a fearmonger, and then you come out of that and you go, they should have known better. That should have worked out different. And here you are, whether you are down the road as a believer or you're just coming into the, one day having a family. I want to give you some tools. I want to give you some insights. I want to give you some understanding that will help you build a family you want to live in and that you'd be happy to raise children in. And that you would be blessed to see your children replicate one day. And so, I'm saying, what is the goal of this relationship? And I'm trying, and I will continue to do it until I hear them say, we have as a goal a loving, intimate connection. That is the goal of our relationship, is to create a loving, intimate connection. Because if that's not your goal, I don't want to have anything to do with this. Because you don't need my help protecting yourselves from each other, creating distance. You're doing a bang-up job all by yourselves. So I would rather not be around while you do that. So, shoo. Go do what you were going to do before you came in here. I have no desire at all to be a part of your strategies of creating distance. But if you need some connecting tools, if you really have as a goal connection and love and intimacy, and you don't know how to do it, then I want to be all over that. That is what I live to do, is to help people get this loving, intimate connection going when they don't know how. They've become afraid of each other, whatever it might be. All right? And so the first thing we have to believe is that love is worth dying for. And that in order to create this intimate connection, we are willing to lay our life down for each other. That we are literally going to create a friendship out of this relationship. We are going to practice vulnerability, trust, and pursuing one another in love.